Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 28. We heard yesterday Mahārāja's beautiful explanation of the verse, how Krishna is considering that, you know, how the materialistic people are going about in the world doing fruitive activities without considering where they are going in the next life. But the devotees of Vrindavan, they are so absorbed in Krishna. They don't even care about Krishna's position as God. They're just concerned about their wonderful Krishna. They love Krishna so much. They're so enchanted by him, by his words, by his activities, by his beautiful form going on. Iti sanchitya Bhagavan
इति संचित्य भगवान्
Mahakaruniko Harihe
महाकारुणिको हरिः
Darshayam Asalokam Swam
दर्शयाम् आसलोकं सं
Gopanam Tamasa Param.
गोपानां तमसः परम्.
Translation and purport by the disciples of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Thus, deeply considering the situation, the all-merciful Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, revealed to the cowherd man his abode, which is beyond material darkness. It is clear from this verse that the Absolute Truth dwells in his own eternal abode. Every one of us tries to live as comfortably as possible, surrounding ourselves with peace and beauty. How can we, in the name of logic, begrudge the Supreme Lord, our Creator, the supremely beautiful and comfortable abode known by people in general as the kingdom of God? So, Krishna showed the cowherd men in Vaikuntha, which is beyond material darkness, so it is always effulgent, it's transcendental, spiritual. So in the purport mentions that, we all like to live in our home, like to make it peaceful, make it beautiful as much as we can, right? Make it comfortable. So then, of course, the Supreme Lord, he also has a very beautiful place to live in. In fact, his place is the most beautiful, right? His home is the most beautiful kingdom of God. And we can see by our example, we like to have a nice home, comfortable home. So Supreme Lord also has his home where he lives eternally. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Satyam Jnanam Anantam Yad
सत्यं ज्ञानम् अनन्तं यत्
Brahma Jyotihi Sanatanam
ब्रह्म ज्योतिः सनातनम्
Yadhi Pashyanti Munayo
यद्धि पश्यन्ति मुनयो
Gunapaye Samahitaha.
गुणापाये समाहितः.
Lord Krishna revealed the indestructible spiritual effulgence, which is unlimited, unconscious, and eternal. Sages see that spiritual existence in trance when their consciousness is free of the modes of material nature. In text 14, Lord Krishna revealed to the residents of Vrindavan his own abode, the spiritual planet of Krishna Lok. This and innumerable other Vaikuntha planets float in an infinite ocean of spiritual light called the Brahmajyoti. That spiritual light is in fact the spiritual sky, which Krishna also quite naturally revealed to the residents of Vrindavan. So Krishna, he showed Krishna Lok to the Gopals. Because the
So
Gopas are
not the
not worried.
Vaikuntha. Hare Krishna
Mm,
Shilpadi, sorry. So not the Vaikuntha, it's the Krishna Lok, right?
yeah. Well,
Okay.
Krishna Lok is also Vaikuntha, but of course the highest planet in
Yeah.
Vaikuntha.
Okay. Okay.
So, because Krishna was considering that, well, these cowherd men, they just love me so much. They don't care where they are going to go after they leave the body. And the cowherd men were also having a desire to see the Supreme Lord's abode. So Krishna is showing them Krishna Lok. Here is mentioned in the purport Krishna Lok. And so in showing them Krishna Lok is also floating in the Brahma Jyoti, right? All the spiritual planets are
Mm.
floating in the space, spiritual space, which is Brahma Jyoti. So he showed them the Brahma Jyoti also. Unlimited, conscious, and eternal. So the sages, they are able to see the Brahma Jyoti when they get liberated, right? Liberation, then they can see Brahma Jyoti. Brahma Jyoti is free of the modes of nature. It's above the modes. So Krishna is showing them this Brahma Jyoti also. He showed them Krishna Lok, his planet. So, for example, if we want to show the moon to a child, we say, look up in the sky. See the moon over there in the sky. Similarly, Lord Krishna revealed the vast spiritual sky to the residents of Vrindavan. But as emphasized in text 14 and in the following text 16, the actual destination of the Lord's associates was his own spiritual planet. So we tell the children, oh, look up it in the sky, you can see the moon. So when we seeing the moon up in the sky, we also seeing the sky. We can see the other planets, we can see the other stars. So Krishna is showing Krishna Lok to his devotees, to the Gopas. So then, of course, they are able to see the Brahmajyoti. Uh, but their destination, of course, is not Brahmajyoti. It is Krishna's planet. It's Krishna Lok. Te tu Brahma Hridam Nita.
Te tu Brahmaridam Nita
Magna Krishnena Chodritaha.
Magnaha Krishnena Chodritaha
Dadrashur Brahmano Lokam.
Tadrashu Brahmano Lokam
Yatra Krurodhyagatpura.
Yatra Akruro Adhyagat Pura.
The cowherd men were brought by Lord Krishna to the Brahma Hृda, made to submerge in the water and then lifted up. From the same vantage point that Akrur saw the spiritual world, the cowherd men saw the planet of the Absolute Truth. The unlimited extension of spiritual light, called the Brahmajyoti in text 15, is compared to a lake called Brahma Hृda. Lord Krishna submerged the cowherd men in that lake in the sense that he submerged them in the awareness of the impersonal Brahman. So Brahma Hrida is the Brahma Jyoti. So Krishna, he is showing them the Brahma Jyoti. Because as we said, right, the Krishna Lok, is also floating in the Brahma Jyoti. Like the moon is in the sky. So he showed them the Brahma Jyoti. He submerged them in the awareness of the impersonal Brahman. But then, as indicated by the word Udrataha, he lifted them up to a higher understanding, that of the personality of Godhead in his own planet. So he gave them the understanding that the Brahman is the light which is coming from his body. And then he's giving them the understanding of his own planet. Is that okay?
So to the Gopas, right?
Yes,
To all
to
the
the Gopa.
Gwalbals. Yeah.
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 As clearly stated here, Dadrishu Brahmano Lokam, they saw just as Akrur did, the transcendental abode of the Absolute Truth. So we are going to hear later that how Akrur also sees the spiritual world. So just how Krishna's reveal the spiritual world to Akrur, he's revealing the spiritual world to the Gopas. The evolution of consciousness may be briefly summarized as follows. In ordinary consciousness, we perceive and are attracted to the variety of material things. Rising to the first stage of spiritual consciousness, we transcend material variety and focus instead on the undifferentiated one, which lies behind and gives existence to the many. Finally, rising to Krishna consciousness, we find that the Absolute Spiritual One contains its own eternal variety. In fact, since this world is a mere shadow of eternal existence, we would expect to find spiritual variety within the One, and indeed we do find it in the sacred text of Srimad Bhagavatam. So, spiritual advancement, first, our consciousness is material. We want to enjoy the material world. But then one may come to the understanding, oh, well, there is no happiness here in the material world, and I am the spirit soul. So one gets like this kind of knowledge and gets the spiritual consciousness of the spirit soul, right? Focusing on the Brahman, the supreme spirit. That's the undifferentiated one. And then one may come to Krishna consciousness, understanding that, oh, this absolute truth is full of variety. As we are seeing variety here in the material world is a reflection. We are hearing Purushottam Yoga, how this material world is a reflection of the spiritual world. So there's so much variety here in the reflection. So then in the reality, of course, there has to be variety, even more variety. And that's what we are hearing in Bhagavatam, isn't it? Krishna's pastimes, Krishna's friends, Krishna's beauty, Krishna's devotees. So astute readers may note that the pastime involving Akrur takes place later in the Bhagavatam, after the present affair with the cowherd man. The reason Sukadev Goswami says Akrur saw Vaikuntapura previously is that all these incidents took place many years before the conversation between Sukadev Goswami and Maharaj Parikshit. So here Sukadev Goswami is saying that just as Akrur saw before the Vaikuntha planets, that's how the Gopas also saw Krishna look. But when we are reading the pastime, Akrur's pastime has not yet come, right?
Yeah.
So then, how is Sukadev Goswami saying that, oh, Akrur saw? Well, because when Sukadev Goswami is explaining to Parikshit, both the pastimes have already happened. Gopal seeing the Krishna look, Akrur seeing the spiritual world, and many, many years have passed now. Sukadev Goswami is speaking to Parikshit. So that's why he's saying, just as before Akrur, Krishna showed the spiritual world to Akrur. Is that okay?
Yeah. Just one question, Shilpa ji. So, uh, when you mentioned that when we have the realization, then like the soul have the realization, then he sees his conscious gets clear that he is a soul. He understands that he's eternal, he's soul, and then when he goes forward, he gets Krishna consciousness, right?
Mm.
And then he understands this, that there is a variety in the spiritual world. Until then, when his consciousness is getting spiritual, then he just liberated, then he gets to the point that he is soul and he's not the body, and then he gets to the next level, right?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, just for the clarification. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Nandadayastu tam drishtva
Nandadayastu tam drishtva
Paramananda nivritaha
Paramananda nivrataha
Krishnam cha tatra chandobihi
Krishnam cha tatra chandobihi
Stuyamanam suvismitaha.
Tuyamanam suvismitaha.
Nanda Maharaj and the other cowherd men felt the greatest happiness when they saw that transcendental abode. They were especially amazed to see Krishna himself there, surrounded by the personified Vedas who were offering him prayers. Although the residents of Vrindavan considered themselves ordinary persons, Lord Krishna wanted them to know of their extraordinary good fortune. Thus, within a lake in the Yamuna river, the Lord showed them his personal abode. The cowherd men were amazed to see that the kingdom of God had exactly the same spiritual atmosphere as their own earthly Vrindavan, and that just as in their Vrindavan, Lord Krishna was personally present in their unique vision, he was present as the Lord of the spiritual world. So, Krishna, the Brajbasis never thought that they were special. That's how they were considering, right? That we are just like cowherd men, we are doing our own, uh, taking care of the cows, and we are doing some, we are ordinary people. So earlier, when our wonderful Krishna, they were thinking, how can God be born, appeared before us, live with us, have this relationship with us? So Krishna is showing them, Krishna wanted to show them of their extraordinary good fortune. Yeah. So Krishna is showing them the spiritual world, and they are saying that it's the same as where they are living. It's the same Vrindavan. Because Vrindavan on earth and Vrindavan in the spiritual sky is the same. There's no difference. And they're seeing Krishna also there. Of course, but they could understand that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. Because right now, that's what is their kind of understanding, right? That Krishna is God. Varun Dev gave him so much um, worship, and so, oh, Krishna is God. But then, of course, so right now they are in that mood. But then, of course, we know they soon forget it and they don't care about that anymore. But at this point, then they are like understanding, oh, Krishna is God. Ashla Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur points out these verses emphasize that Lord Krishna did not merely show the cowherd men a sample Vaikuntha planet, but that he specifically revealed his Krishna Lok, the greatest of the eternal abodes and the natural home of the residents of Vrindavan, who loved Krishna more than anyone else did. Thus end the purports of the humble servants of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, to the 10th Canto, 28th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam entitled Krishna Rescues Nanda Maharaj from the Abode of Varuna. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is giving us more insight into these verses that Krishna showed not any other Vaikuntha planet, but he showed them Golok Vrindavan, Krishna Lok, Golok Vrindavan. Because actually these cowherd men, they eternally live in Golok Vrindavan. They have nothing to do with any of the other Vaikuntha planet. Right? So, so Krishna is showing them this abode. And after they finish their pastimes in the earthly Vrindavan, they're going to go to the spiritual Vrindavan. But they're seeing that there's no difference. It's the same.
Isn't it more opulent there, the Vrindavan in the spiritual world, Golok Vrindavan?
Mm.
Because I think I heard somewhere like
Mm.
this is just a replica, the one in the earth, but he
Mm.
brought the same like that abode here, the
Mm.
earthly plane, but there, like imagine it's much more,
Mm.
right?
Much more. So, actually, they do say that there's no difference between the earthly Vrindavan and the spiritual Vrindavan. It's just that we are not able to see the real Vrindavan.
Mm.
Yeah, we are not able to see because we need spiritual eyes to see uh, real Vrindavan, right?
Yes.
So, and Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. He's always in Vrindavan.
Yes.
So, shouldn't be any difference. It's just that we are unable to see it. Hmm. So this brings us to the end of this chapter. Krishna rescues Nanda Maharaj from the abode of Varuna. And okay, the next one is Krishna and the gopis meet for the rasa dance. So we'll read this tomorrow. This time is almost up. Mm. Srimad, yeah. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much for listening and joining. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai.